So now let's talk about dynamic routes using the Bottle web app framework. Basically, this is like the static routes that we previously did, where essentially you're creating the URL, you're creating the different web pages that your visitors will go to. But the cool thing about this is that you can actually embed variable values. So within that URL, you can add variable values. The function can grab those variable values and then process them in however way you've coded the Python to do so. So basically, when we're talking about dynamic routes, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be having a route, but within that route, we're going to have variable values that we'll be able to pull out and use within our script. So now let's take a look at a script using a dynamic route. Right, so up here it's going to be the same type of thing. So from Bottle, we're going to import run so that we can run the script and route. So whether it's a static route or whether it's a dynamic route, you just need that route functionality that you're going to be using as a decorator. We're then going to use a decorator here. So at route /name /angle bracket name. So by using the angle brackets, you're defining this as a variable name. This is a value that's going to be coming in. So you're going to go to localhost or 127.0.0.1 colon 8080 or whatever port that you have /name/Bob, right? That's what this is going to look like. Again, Bob is going to come in, define index, that name value is going to come in. So we're saying we're going to be giving you a variable called name. And then we're going to create an F string here, message equals F string, H1 hello Bob. So you're going to go to localhost colon 8080 /name/Bob and it will tell you hello Bob. Right? That's basically how a dynamic route works. We come down here to this, it's name and age. So at route /name /angle bracket name. So it's a variable for the name /angle bracket age colon int. So this is where you can assign a data type. So by doing a colon after the variable name, you can do a data type. So you can do an int, a float. If you don't define a data type, it will be considered a string. So since this is age, we want to say that this is supposed to be a number. So we're saying age is basically supposed to be an int. We then define a function name underscore age. We're bringing in name, we're bringing in age, message equals, hello Bob, you are 12 years old, right? And then we're going to return that message. Pretty simple. We're going to come down here to a route for message. So basically, we just want to repeat a message. Somebody's going to go to localhost colon 8080 / and then they're going to type a message in, and we just want that printed out on the screen. And basically, we're going to define a function called speak. The message is going to come in, and then we're simply going to return the message out onto the screen. And so this is a basic idea of how this script looks. Now when we go to run it, we can click on this, and then we can go to localhost. I can do the command or control. And when we go there, we're going to get this error because we do not have a route for the root directory without anything. We have name with a name, we have name with a name and an age, and we have message, but we don't have anything for just a blank home directory. That's why we're getting this not found error. So we're going to go up here, again, localhost 8080, I'm going to do name, and then I'm going to do Bob, right? So I'm going to put name and Bob, I'm going to hit enter, and it's going to say, hello Bob. Yay! Exciting. Right? Then we're going to go up and we're going to say name and we're going to say Bob and we're going to say 88. Right? We're going to add 88 at the end. And then, hello Bob, you are 88 years old. So it's able to bring these dynamic values in, and then with Python, you're able to do something with it. Now the next one gets quirky. I thought about taking this example out of this lab just because it gets a little stupid. But then I realized sometimes it's good to show you stupid crap. So, okay, one of the issues you can have, and we talk about like with the tech stack here, with you have a lot of different technologies that come together so that your users are able to interact with whatever web app that you're creating. So one of the parts of that stack is the web browser itself. Again, in the modern world in the 2020s, it's really easy to forget that the web browser itself is part of the stack. So sometimes the web browser can do weird things. So if you go over here, again, to the message thing, so route message, I should just do / and be able to put a message in, and it should pull up on the screen. The weird part is, right, if I go here and do / message, and I do hello students, isn't this cool, right? So basically, what do you think is going to happen next? I hit enter, and it gives me a Google search result. Why? Because this web browser, when it sees this, for some reason thinks that's a Google search result. You actually have to go up here, and if I plug in manually http:// to tell it this is supposed to be a web page, and I hit enter, then you get to see, hello students, isn't this cool? So that is one of those frustrating quirks that can come up, and literally, I was about to delete this from this session. I was like, you know what? This is stupid. People are going to get confused. I'm not even going to teach it. But then I realized for a lot of you folks, especially if you're new to like the web app creation world, you may not realize the stupidity that you can run into, again, with the different products in your tech stack. And so this is something that you want to think about. Again, remember, when you're building your web app, you get to design it however you want. So you can design it so that it's a misery for your users, or you can design it so that hopefully they have a few less problems. So this is the kind of thing where you might be thinking about, again, do you want them to add values in the URL, or do you want to have a little web form where you won't run into this issue for them to add values? That's one of those things that you just kind of have to consider. So that's the basic idea behind dynamic routes. Basically, you're going to be using the URL to be able to input variable values, and then you're going to be able to have Bottle and Python be able to pull out those variable values and do something with in the Python script. So this might be something that you would use if you're creating like a content management system, and so you have different pages, let's say different articles. So you might use that URL to basically query the database to pull the page up that the person is looking for. So basically you're using that when you're going to be using the select statement to interact with the database or that type of thing. You might use this if you're going to be creating your own API. So many times when we're talking about REST APIs, we're talking about you communicating with somebody else's server and them sending you back data. This might be the type of thing where if you want to create your own API, you want to create your own system that other people will be connecting to, this might be a good way for them to be able to make requests from your system so that you can send back the data that they're looking for. So this is just one of those pieces of functionality that can be incredibly useful. How you're going to use it, that's kind of one of those things, you know, it's in the eye of the beholder, however you decide to use it, but it's a pretty cool piece of functionality.